Today, we will give an introduction to the Gilded Age, we'll discuss the Vanderbilt family, and we'll also discuss the home of Dowling College, the William K. Vanderbilt estate, formerly known as Idlehour. To understand the Vanderbilts and the Idlehour estate, one needs to understand the Gilded Age, an era which earned its name from a book written by Mark Twain and Charles Dudley Warner in 1873. The Gilded Age coincides with the Industrial Revolution and the rise of the robber barons. People such as the Vanderbilts, Astors, Carnegies, Rockefellers, Goulds, and Fricks, they made their great fortunes in areas such as railroads, the steel industry, manufacturing, real estate, and banking. These new millionaires thought of themselves as the aristocratic class of the United States and modeled their lives and habits after European aristocracy, particularly from Great Britain and France. Long Island's development coincides with the Gilded Age because of its proximity to New York City. Long Island became the leisure time playground for the newly wealthy. 14 of the nation's 25 richest families could be linked to Long Island. As late as 1946, Life magazine called Long Island the most socially desirable residential area in the United States. Conspicuous consumption is the spending of money on and the acquiring of luxury goods and services to publicly display economic power. This more is more attitude was the hallmark of the Gilded Age, and on Long Island it happened on the South Shore 20 years earlier than on the North Shore. Conspicuous consumption is evident in the lavish clothing made for the wives of the robber barons. These over-the-top and richly designed fashions created their own economies for both fur and feathers. And if you had lavish clothing, you needed lavish parties to wear them to. Here is William K. Vanderbilt's first wife, Alva, at her fancy dress ball of 1883. Conspicuous consumption is also evident in the lavish homes built by the robber barons. This can be seen right here in Oakdale with these three mansions: Pepperidge Hall, Indian Neck Hall, and Idlehour. Of course, the robber barons needed to decorate their homes with lavish art collections. William K. Vanderbilt grew up surrounded by art in his father's home in New York City. His father, William H. Vanderbilt, owned the most sumptuous private art gallery in all of the city. It is seen here in this photo and measured 32 by 48 feet. It's not hard to see that conspicuous consumption figured large in William K. Vanderbilt's upbringing. William K. Vanderbilt was the grandson of Commodore Cornelius Vanderbilt, the founder of the family fortune, and son of William H. Vanderbilt, who considerably enhanced that family fortune. Over the course of his lifetime, William was known as a railroad executive, yachtsman, horse breeder and racing enthusiast, clubsman, art collector, and philanthropist. He married the ferociously ambitious Alva Smith Vanderbilt in 1875. Together they had 3 children before they divorced in 1895. Their oldest and only daughter, Consuelo, became an American socialite and heiress. She was also the 9th Duchess of Marlborough. Their second child was William K. Vanderbilt II. During his lifetime, he was a railroad executive, accomplished yachtsman, and a pioneer in the automobile industry and promoting automobile races. He was also a noted explorer and philanthropist. His mansion, Eagle's Nest, is the Suffolk County Museum in Centerport, New York. Their third child was Harold Sterling Vanderbilt, sometimes referred to as Mike. During his lifetime, Harold was the last Vanderbilt to direct the New York Central Railroad. He also invented the game known as contract bridge, and he successfully defended the America's Cup yacht race not 1 but 3 separate times. After divorcing Alva in 1895, William remarried in 1903 to Anne Harriman Sands Rutherford Vanderbilt. Together, William and Anne lived at Idlehour on and off until his death in 1920. The mansion that is home to Dowling College is the second mansion to occupy this land. The first mansion was a half-timbered, wooden, Tudor-style house built in 1878. It was the first of many commissions that architect Richard Morris Hunt would design for the Vanderbilt family. The second mansion Hunt designed for William and Alva was their mansion at Fifth Avenue on 57th Street. Unfortunately, this house was demolished in 1926. Marble House was their summer cottage in Newport. This was the third mansion that Richard Morris Hunt designed for William and Alva. In 1892, the Vanderbilts finished expanding the first Idlehour mansion. The expansion made the mansion more like a rambling Queen Anne-styled house. There isn't a lot of information about this house, but it is believed to have had 90 rooms. The first Idlehour mansion burnt down in April of 1899. After the fire, William immediately commissioned Richard Howland Hunt of Hunt & Hunt to build his new mansion. The second mansion was built in stages between 1900 and 1904. William hired Richard Howland Hunt to design the mansion, the cloistered walk, and the conservatory. Then William hired the architects Warren and Wetmore to design the new bachelor wing and tennis courts. The entrance hall had marble walls, heavy curtains at the entrance to the dining room and the living hall, and an ancient sarcophagus under the stairs. Idlehour was built with all the modern conveniences, including an elevator, which is the small door visible in this photo on the left next to the chair. The dining room was designed by the artist Carl Bitter. He carved the life-size statue of Diana and the plaster friezes that appeared over the paneling. The living hall served multiple purposes. It provided living and entertaining space for the family. It also doubled as the music room and had a piano and console organ inside of it. And if they emptied the furniture, it could also serve as the ballroom. The study is paneled in a rich red oak that has symbols representing the arts and sciences carved over each bookshelf. The gold salon is the only room in the house designed for women. Mrs. Vanderbilt used this room for her women guests to withdraw to after dinner. Its white paneling is accented with 18-karat gold trim. Today, this room is used exclusively by the college's president. Adjacent to the first bachelor wing was the smoking room. Here men would meet after dinner to smoke, play billiards or cards. This room, unfortunately, was destroyed by a fire in 1974, and it now serves as classroom space. While single women would stay in the family areas of the second floor, single men stayed in one of the two bachelor wings. Notice that both bachelor wings are attached to a sporting facility. Fives is a British handball-type sport. Idlehour is one of only a few American estates to have a fives court. Plans show the court, changing rooms and showers, and a viewing gallery for spectators attached to the first bachelor's wing. In 1903-1904, the architectural firm of Warren and Wetmore were employed to design an indoor tennis court and second bachelor's wing. This would be connected to the Palm Garden. The indoor tennis court was a rarity at the time and featured a clay court, seating areas, a vaulted glass ceiling, electric lights for night play, cooling fountains carved in stone, and ivy-covered walls. The Palm Garden was designed by Hunt & Hunt and was completed in 1903. Mr. Vanderbilt wasn't happy with it and almost immediately decided to ask the architects Warren and Wetmore to redesign it. The Palm Garden is now the conservatory at Dowling College. At the turn of the last century, it was common for the very rich to have a room inspired by the Middle East or Orient. This tented room was redecorated by Warren and Wetmore and served as the entrance to the second bachelor's wing. Dowling College has several Vanderbilt-era structures as part of its campus. The well sits at the front gate of Dowling College on Idlehour Boulevard and Chateau Drive. The Vanderbilt Ice House is believed to have been built in 1890. Today it is owned by Dowling College. Both the Vanderbilt Powerhouse and the Engineers House are now owned by Dowling College. The Powerhouse is our Performing Arts Center, and the Engineers House is home to Dowling Security. The most elaborate building on the Vanderbilt estate was the Coach House. Designed by Richard Morris Hunt, this building was considered to be the finest stable in the United States when it was completed in 1888. Today it is the Dowling College Curtin Student Center. After William's death in 1920, he left the Idlehour estate to his youngest child, Harold. Harold sold the estate in 1926, and the mansion went on to have several owners and periods of vacancy until 1963, when Adelphi Suffolk College opened a branch here. In 1969, Adelphi Suffolk became Dowling College. For more information about Dowling College and the rich history of the Oakdale area, see these resources, or contact me at the Dowling College Library, Archives and Special Collections. I hope you enjoyed learning about Idlehour and the Vanderbilts. Thank you.